Welcome back, fellow coders. Jared O'Leary here with BootUp. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can simulate developing a Polaroid in the Looking Back project. So right now, I've got it so that it does an intro, little narrative, and then it will repeat doing this thing a bunch where it's going to switch costumes and show a bunch of different projects that I really liked, and then give a closing outro narration. So what I want to do is add in a message that I just created. It's called New Polaroid. And I'm going to have it broadcast this right before it starts every single one of these narrations. In the Polaroid sprite, when it receives a new message, it's going to actually just go to a random position, so that way it will appear in a different location. And I want it to be at 90, like that. Okay, so it's going to appear somewhere random on here every time it switches to a new costume. Now, to make it look like it's developing a Polaroid, we're actually going to go to the overlay costume right here. And we're going to add in some code. So the overlay, if we click this to see it, this thing is just a black sprite that is the same size as the Polaroid sprite. So it's actually going to go on top of it and cover it. And then it's going to fade away so that way we see the picture that's underneath. It'll make it look like it's developing the actual picture. So I make sure that this is also at 90. And what I want to do is create some functions in here. So one of them is going to be to set up. So we're going to set up the sprite at the beginning. And then another function that I wanted to do is actually fade out. So I'll go ahead and create these now because I know I want to use them later. So when we start a project, we're going to set up or initialize. And in this case, what I want to do is actually just hide this and make sure that it goes in front of this other sprite. So it's going to hide and go to the front. Then I'm going to add to this to forever go to my Polaroid sprite. So when we see it, it's always going to appear right on top of this Polaroid sprite wherever it goes randomly. So if we show this, so we can actually see the overlay, and we make sure that it's in front, whoops, like that. Every time it goes to a new position, the overlay just immediately follows it. Okay, so that's what's going on so far. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to do is I want to actually make it so that when I receive the new Polaroid message that we're going to clear the graphic effects, just in case. We're going to make the sprite show. We're going to make it hide. And in between that, we're going to make it fade out. Now, you can use many different methods for fade out. Whoops, meant to click on Control. But I'm going to go ahead and do a repeat and say 100 times I want it to change the ghost effect, which is the very last one, by 0.5. And then I'm going to do something 50 times where I change the ghost effect by 1. So whenever we receive a new Polaroids, it's going to make it so we can see this thing and then develop by fading away. Okay, now if we were to run this, we'd actually have it so that this sprite would just be jumping around to different positions, but it wouldn't actually be leaving a copy of it on here. So what I want to do is add in a pen block, the stamp block, and the way that I got this block was going to the add extensions and then clicking on pen. So this is going to stamp a copy of this, and then I wanted to erase all of these at the very beginning when I actually set up this program. So now when I press a green flag, it's going to start with the intro. Then it's going to go to a new Polaroid position. And now it should have stamped a copy on here. So once it switches to another Polaroid and moves to a different part of the screen, we should still see animate your name right here. See? So we only have one Polaroid sprite, but we're going to see a bunch of different Polaroids appear on this screen because we are stamping it. And then again, because we want to make sure that when we start the green flag, we don't have a bunch of stamps on here, Polaroids, we have this erase all button right there. Cool? So add code like this and code like this into your project to simulate developing a Polaroid in the Looking Back project. Hey everyone, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not watching us on YouTube, you can find us on that platform as well as other social media outlets by searching for BootUp PD. And if you're looking for more free lessons, projects, and resources for teachers and students, visit us at bootuppd.org, where you can also learn about our high-quality professional development.